Global U.S. fast food chain Burger King is set to open a franchise in Nigeria. In a post on social media site LinkedIn, Antoine Zamaria, managing director of Eat and Go, which runs Domino's Pizza and Cold Stone ice cream franchises, announced the signing of a development agreement that will bring the Burger King franchise to the Nigerian market. Arise business analyst Chika Nbono joins us now to discuss these headlines. Chika, you're very welcome. Good morning to you.
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm fine. So before we start, I want to get your thoughts on MPC. Yes, new week and new MPC meeting. What are your thoughts on?
Okay, I mean the country, the economy is still faced with stagflation. A stagnant growth. With almost runaway inflation. And as I said before, previously on this program, it happens that the policies used to chase growth the things that work against inflation. And so as economists, as central bank governor, what do? Remember, each time they meet, they have to take one or three decisions. Either to hold the rates. Principal objective is to manage money supply. So either to hold the rates, which means the money supply level will be the same thing, either to tighten, which means they were going to increase the rates, or loosen, which they will reduce rates. So each time they are faced with those three decisions to make, using the tools of the CRR and the liquidity ratio and monetary policy rate. Those are the tools they have. Now, but you see, if I were in that room, I would do one or two things. The first thing is that, do recall that apart from the CBN governor, every other person believed that Nigeria would have been still in recession by now. Everybody will be in recession by now. And some people were even hoping that it's about Q2 they're going to come out of recession. So if we were still in recession, what will happen is what? The government would have been, the central bank would have been pro-growth. At the best, they would have held the rates, constant, instead of, tightening. But you see, tightening is required to manage inflation. So I would be pro-growth, because we would have still been in recession. But at best, look at the growth in Q4. It's 0.11%.
Yes.
Very weak and minuscule. And so any kind of policies can wipe it away. So I would have loved to be if I'm in that room again. I will hold the rates so that the initiatives put in by the Central Bank of Nigeria to reflect the economy, permeate the system, and further strengthen the growth, moving from the 0.11 to maybe between 1.5 and 2%. When I achieve that, then I'll be able to initiate policies that will enable me drive down inflation.
Fantastic.
I mean, that's what I would do. So I will literally hold. But in addition to that also, the issue, one of the things that overriding thing has come out is that a lot of the initiatives, the palliatives initiated by Central Bank of Nigeria are not reaching to the sectors that they are meant for, and because of some encumbrances. So I will work with the people to make sure that, why are these intervention loans at the best, about 30% to 40% of it have been assessed. What can we do to make sure that more money gets into the system to further reflect the economy? Those are things I will do. So I will hold and watch for the initiative to permeate, and then maybe after that I start fighting inflation.
Fantastic. Well, Chika, you primarily analyze banks a lot on the show. We've talked about CR in the past. Any chance that any has tweets?
No, I mean, because of that, I'll just leave the tools.
Leave everything in place.
Leave everything in place. That's how I would do.
Fantastic. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, governor of Lagos State, visited the Lekki Free Trade Zone. There's talk that it could possibly, I think the managing director of the Lekki
additional $5 billion investment.
Is that optimistic?
Well, it's real, because you see, if you look at Lagos, as we are, they call Lagos, there's no area for growth. So the areas for growth are like maybe towards Badagry, and then maybe towards Ekpe, where you have this export-free zone, Lekki export-free zone. So there are very good initiatives. Now, but most importantly, as they are pursuing growth, the kind of quagmire that we have in Apapa now,
yes.
The confusion we have in Apapa,
yes.
Despite the best efforts, you still have the confusion there. So a city that you're planning from beginning, you must build in plans into the system, the appropriate rail lines, logistics systems, road networks, the seaport, to make sure that all this kind of traffic that we have in Apapa doesn't happen there. And basically that's one of the things they are planning. So in addition to driving investments and pushing companies to that sector, to make sure that there's proper planning in place, that in the right road network, so don't have the kind of misery that we have in Apapa now to repeat there. Yeah.
What do you think of if I ask you, should they have focused on the road network first before? I mean, is that an either-or question? Or
it can be concurrent.
Right, okay.
Because a lot of times people fish Ordinarily, when you plan these things, sometimes they have a master layout plan. You have investor commitments, so you can place industries where they're supposed to be. But a lot of times that didn't happen. So you build as you go along. But as you said, we should better plan the place. Luckily, I'm told that the road will start in 2 months' time. It'll be a partnership between the Lagos State government and the Dangote Group.
Yes.
And so that infrastructure is put in place. And I'm saying also that they should put all these rail lines they are planning.
Yes.
There must be an extension to that place to reduce the traffic on the roads. So we don't have the kind of confusion we're having in Apapa now.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Chika. I want to get over to Tedo Peterside's tweets and his thoughts. Okay. We were in Abuja when we talked about the refinery.
This issue of the refinery has been in the news for the past since the Minister for Petroleum announced the commitment of 1.5 billion to take him on to rehabilitate Port Harcourt refinery. Now let me put it this way. I always try to put myself, as we do in this program, I try to put myself in the position, I strike a balance always.
Of course.
Now, do recall that one of the last actions of the Obasanjo administration was to, sell off these two refineries. However, when our last president, Yar'Adua, came in, he reversed the sale. Now, I wish that didn't happen. We wouldn't have been talking about this now. But be that as it may, you see, in that room where they're making this decision, you will see arguments like, these are national assets.
Yes.
If you set them off, Nigeria will not have any recourse, any owned refinery to produce petrol. What if it happens that the nation, and petrol is a very important fuel in the economy.
Yes.
So what if it happens that we're left at the mercy of private investors and that we cannot control? So I know, as difficult as it is, that a lot of times the governments make suboptimal economic decisions.
Right.
Because of varying national interests, because of national pride, and so on and so forth. That's why you can see sometimes a country, instead of going to share neighboring country airport, because it's not economical for the country, they want to build an airport in their country, just because of that independence. I do feel that in that room, the decision being taken was that these are very important national assets, and selling them off will just put us at the mercy of private investors for a very important resource for the nation, which is petrol. I mean, you know how petrol is important in the country.
Correct, yes.
So selling them off, we made so much investment in these refineries for a long time that selling them off, we're almost selling them off carcass. We will never recover any investments. Let's renovate them, put them in a good stead, and then before we can consider anything and sell, even any sell. For me, that's what it is. So I know that nations, because it's not rocket science. What everybody's saying, a lot of people are saying something. Sell it to, it's very simple to do. You hand it to private investors.
Right.
That's so simple. But when you're considering national assets sometimes, please bear with me, as I tell you, I always try to balance it.
Yes.
National assets sometimes. I can imagine people in the DSS, people in the security agencies, everybody in that room making a contribution. Because give it to them also, there are people there, they have some reason. So I think that's the overriding issue. It's an important national asset. Petrol is very important to the country. We can't just hand off everything to private investors. Let the nation own some, at a minimum, even if it's 1/3 of our supply, as Dangote refinery is coming on board. And for me, that's what that overriding decision. So as I said before, countries make suboptimal economic decisions for the overriding national interests. And economists may not just see it as such, but I think that's what's riding here.
Fantastic. Along those lines, 2 weeks ago, the Chief Strategy Officer at the Dangote Group, Chief Strategy Officer Aliyu Suleiman, suggested that the license to import refined fuel should only be given to active owned refineries. Any fears of market share or, I guess, the M word, monopoly in that?
Basically, what it's saying is under the transition arrangement.
Yes.
Or is it when the refineries are running? It has to be that's before the refineries come on stream.
Okay.
That's basically what it is. Because when the refineries come on stream, with the figures being banded, they should produce enough for the nation.
Yes.
And some even for exports. But you see, we have some disequilibrium now in the system because of the inefficiencies we've had with our refineries.
Yes.
Our refineries have been very poorly managed. And as I'm actually trying to understand why the government made the decision to invest that kind of money in the refinery, I'm also hoping that they have solid arrangement in place to run these refineries when they come in play. And we're told that in 18 months, it will be nameplate 90% capacity. I hope that happens. So, yes, Dangote Group can make a play for that. But you see, we cannot all give everything to Dangote. Other people have to play as we move towards the free market.
Thank you for that, Chika. Speaking of free markets, Burger King is an announcement. Speaking of foreign investment coming into the country, what do you make of that announcement? Then?
You know, I mean, when you have a nation of 200 million people, 65% of them are youths who have appetite that they simulate what happens in the Western world. You would therefore be surprised and ask yourself the question, why is Burger King not here now? Why is McDonald's not in Nigeria here now? Because the market is here. I do recall also that I remember when the telecom companies, the mobile companies were coming to Nigeria, some of these analysts stayed in their rooms, faraway rooms in Europe, and said that the per capita income in Nigeria is so low and cannot sustain the mobile networks, and therefore they're not going to make investments. But look at where we are today. I do believe that our youths are ready for the Burger King. We even were ready for McDonald's. Now, be that as it may, they are what I call national palettes.
Yes.
National palettes. Our lovely jollof rice.
Local delicacies.
The local delicacies.
Yes.
You know, I love the jollof rice.
Yes.
I've known some franchises that have come in here and stuck to those foreign distance, and they didn't survive. They struggled.
Yes.
But once they made fine at their menu by adding our jollof rice, some even the American, some other things, you find that businesses started booming. I have a feeling that McDonald's has done it in China to, include the local delicacies in their menu. I have a feeling that 200 million people was enough for them to modify their menu and make it Nigerian, but still keeping the fundamentals in place. However, do recall the challenges, logistic challenges, power challenges, preservation for meat, temperature, quality control, because all these are international brands, and we want to sue them. If I eat their food in Nigeria and get some sickness, when you want to sue them, you're suing them worldwide. So they cannot, because of Nigerian standards, bring down their standards locally. So they must maintain the same standards.
And it comes at a cost.
And it comes at a cost. And that, I'm sure those have been limiting factors. I've been preventing them from coming here. But I have a feeling that the franchises who are bringing them in have been in Nigeria for some time. They understood our localities, the markets, and the dynamics, and they will survive. They will survive here.
Chika, just 30 seconds. Does this further the argument that agriculture and food is the main driver for
when you have population, 200 million people, you can't go wrong with food and real estate.
Right. Good, excellent point to close our segment. Arise business analyst Chika Nbonu. Chika, thank you so much for taking us through this headlines.
Thank you.
I appreciate your insights as always.